Take a deep breath right now and really notice it. If that breath felt a little shallow, a little tight, or you felt the need to clear your throat afterward, you're not alone. Many people, especially men over 50, are quietly dealing with lungs that just don't feel as open and clear as they used to. And what most don't realize is that something very small, even a single drop of the right natural support, can make a noticeable difference in how freely air moves through your lungs. Here's the truth. As we age, our lungs don't clean themselves as efficiently. Mucus becomes thicker, airways become slightly inflamed, and breathing can slowly feel more restricted without us even noticing it happening. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It's a normal change that happens over time, especially if you've been exposed to pollution, dust, smoke, poor air quality, or even years of shallow breathing from stress. Now for men after 50, this becomes even more important. Testosterone naturally declines, muscle elasticity decreases, and that includes the muscles involved in breathing. The diaphragm doesn't move as powerfully, and the tiny air sacs in the lungs can lose flexibility. This makes it harder to fully expel old air, allowing mucus to sit longer than it should. When mucus builds up, airflow reduces, oxygen delivery drops, and you may feel tired, foggy, or short of breath doing things that never used to bother you. What many people don't realize is that the lungs thrive on gentle cleansing and proper timing. They don't respond well to harsh methods. They respond to consistency, calm breathing, and natural compounds that support the body's own ability to clear itself. Think about how your lungs are designed. They are self-cleaning organs. Tiny hair-like structures move mucus upward, carrying trapped particles out of the body. But with age, dehydration, and inflammation, that movement slows down. This is where a properly used natural drop can help thin mucus, relax the airways, and support smoother airflow without forcing anything. Timing matters more than most people think. The lungs are most receptive in the early morning and early evening. That's when the nervous system is calmer and the airways are more responsive. Taking a supportive drop during these times allows it to work with your body instead of against it. Lifestyle also plays a major role. If you sit for long periods, breathe through your mouth, or stay slightly dehydrated, mucus thickens faster. Gentle movement, nasal breathing, and proper hydration dramatically improve lung clarity. Even something as simple as standing up every hour and taking 5 slow breaths through the nose can improve airflow within minutes. Stress is another hidden factor. Chronic stress tightens the chest and shortens the breath. Over time, this limits oxygen intake and weakens lung efficiency. Calming the nervous system is just as important as supporting the lungs directly. Now let's talk about what actually helps the lungs clear themselves naturally, because there's a lot of confusion out there. Many people think the lungs need strong stimulation or harsh cleansing. That's not how the body works. The lungs respond best to gentle signals that tell the nervous system it's safe to relax and open. Certain natural compounds have been used for centuries to support clear breathing. What makes them effective isn't force, it's precision. When used in very small amounts, even a single drop, they can signal the airways to relax, thin mucus, and allow oxygen to move more freely. This works because these compounds interact with sensory receptors connected directly to the brainstem, which controls breathing rhythm and airway tone. As men move past 50, this connection becomes especially important. The nervous system becomes more sensitive to stress and less responsive to deep breathing. This is why you may notice you sigh more often, yawn without feeling refreshed, or feel like you can't quite take a full breath. These are signs that the lungs are asking for support, not pressure. A properly used drop works best when placed under the tongue or diluted properly, allowing fast absorption without passing through digestion first. This sends a quicker signal to the body, which is why timing and calm breathing afterward makes such a difference. Right after using it, slow nasal breathing helps distribute the effect throughout the lungs. Another important factor is consistency. The lungs don't change overnight, especially if mucus buildup has been there for years. But when you support them gently day after day, you begin to notice subtle improvements. Breathing becomes quieter, you clear your throat less. Walking feels easier. Even sleep improves because the airways stay more open at night. Men often ignore these signs because they come on gradually. You adjust without realizing it, you walk a little slower, you avoid stairs, you sit more. But the lungs are meant to stay active and elastic. When airflow improves, the entire body benefits. Oxygen fuels muscles, brain function, and energy levels. Many people are surprised to notice clearer, thinking once breathing improves, lifestyle choices amplify or block these benefits. Cold, dry air thickens mucus. Warm, humid environments help loosen it. Drinking enough water throughout the day keeps secretions thin and mobile. Even posture matters. Slouching compresses the lungs, while standing tall allows them to expand fully. One simple habit that makes a big difference is breathing through the nose as much as possible. The nose warms, filters, and humidifies air before it reaches the lungs. Mouth breathing dries the airways and increases irritation. Training yourself to breathe through the nose, especially during light activity, protects lung tissue and supports natural cleansing. Another overlooked factor is the time of day you breathe most deeply. Many people breathe shallowly during stressful hours and only relax late at night. Shifting deep breathing to earlier in the day helps reset lung patterns and improves oxygen delivery when you need it most. Let's focus now on how to make these benefits last, because supporting the lungs isn't just about what you take, it's about what you do around it. The lungs are deeply influenced by rhythm. When your daily habits fall into a healthy rhythm, breathing becomes easier without effort. One of the biggest mistakes people make is using support and then rushing immediately into stress. If you take a drop and then jump into work, news, or screens, the nervous system tightens again and the lungs partially close. Giving yourself just 2 or 3 calm minutes afterward allows the body to fully respond. Slow breathing during this time tells the airways to stay relaxed. Men over 50 often underestimate how much shallow breathing has become normal for them. Over years of responsibility, pressure, and long hours, breathing shifts higher into the chest. This reduces airflow to the lower lungs where oxygen exchange is strongest. Retraining this pattern is one of the most powerful things you can do for lung health. A simple way to do this is by practicing slow belly breathing once or twice a day. Place a hand on your abdomen and let it gently rise as you inhale through your nose. This movement activates the diaphragm, improves airflow, and helps clear stagnant air. Over time, this becomes your default breathing pattern again. Another important habit is movement. The lungs love motion. Walking, gentle stretching, and light activity naturally stimulate deeper breathing and help mucus move upwards so it can be cleared. You don't need intense exercise. Even a 10-minute walk can noticeably improve lung clarity if done consistently. Pay attention to your indoor air. Dry air irritates the lungs and thickens mucus. Adding moisture to your environment, especially where you sleep, can significantly improve nighttime breathing. Clean air supports the lungs' natural filtering process and reduces irritation that leads to congestion. Sleep position also matters more than most people realize. Lying completely flat can allow mucus to settle. Slight elevation supports drainage and keeps airflow smoother through the night. When breathing improves during sleep, energy levels improve during the day. Hydration deserves special attention. Thick mucus is often a sign of dehydration, not infection. Sipping water steadily throughout the day keeps lung secretions thin and easier to clear. Large amounts all at once don't work as well as steady intake. Stress reduction is not optional when it comes to breathing. Stress tightens the chest, shortens the breath, and limits airflow. Calming routines such as slow breathing, quiet time, or gentle stretching signal the lungs to open. This is especially important in the evening when the body prepares for rest. When these habits are combined with proper natural support, the lungs begin to function more efficiently again. Breathing feels smoother. Clearing the throat becomes less frequent. Activity feels less draining. These are signs that airflow is improving and oxygen is reaching tissues more effectively. As you continue supporting your lungs, it's important to know what signs tell you things are working. These changes are often subtle at first, but they're meaningful. You may notice that breathing feels quieter, especially when you're resting. There's less awareness of your chest moving, and breaths feel smoother rather than forced. Another early sign is needing to clear your throat less often. When mucus thins and moves properly, it doesn't linger in the airways. Many people also notice they can speak for longer periods without needing to pause for breath. That's a sign airflow is improving and oxygen exchange is becoming more efficient. Sleep is another area where improvement shows up quickly. When the airways stay clear at night, breathing becomes more regular. You may wake up feeling more refreshed, even if you're sleeping the same number of hours. This happens because better oxygen delivery supports deeper, more restorative rest. For men over 50, these improvements can feel surprising. You may realize that activities you quietly adjusted to, like climbing stairs or walking longer distances, start to feel easier again. This isn't about pushing yourself harder. It's about removing the resistance that was there all along. How often you continue this routine matters. Consistency is more important than intensity. Supporting the lungs once or twice daily is usually enough when paired with calm breathing and good habits. Overdoing it doesn't improve results and can actually make the body less responsive. The goal is to support, not stimulate. It's also important to avoid things that undo your progress. Breathing cold, dry air for long periods, staying dehydrated, or spending hours hunched over screens can quickly tighten the chest again. Being mindful of posture and taking brief breathing breaks throughout the day keeps the lungs open and active. Another key factor is emotional tension. Holding stress in the chest is extremely common, especially in men who have carried responsibility for decades. Letting the shoulders relax and allowing the breath to slow sends a powerful signal to the lungs that it's safe to open fully. Protecting your lungs long-term means respecting their limits. If you feel short of breath, that's a signal to slow down, not push harder. Gentle pacing preserves lung elasticity and keeps airflow steady. Over time, this approach builds strength rather than strain. As your lungs respond, your awareness of breathing often fades, and that's a good thing. Healthy breathing is quiet, effortless, and rhythmic. When you reach that point, you're no longer thinking about your lungs because they're doing what they're meant to do. Let's bring everything together because the real goal here isn't a quick change, it's lasting comfort in your breathing. Healthy lungs don't draw attention to themselves. You don't think about them. You just move, talk, walk, and live without feeling limited by your breath. As men age, especially after 50, it becomes more important to work with the body instead of against it. The lungs are incredibly responsive when they're treated gently and consistently. Supporting them with the right natural help, proper timing, calm breathing, and simple lifestyle habits allows them to restore balance on their own. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is awareness without tension. Notice your breathing during the day, but don't try to control it aggressively. When you feel it becoming shallow, simply slow it down. Breathe through your nose. Let your chest soften. These small moments add up and retrain the lungs to stay open naturally. Consistency builds confidence in your body again. When breathing improves, energy often follows. Oxygen fuels every system. Clear airflow supports better movement, clearer thinking, and a steadier sense of calm. Many people don't realize how much their breathing has been holding them back until it starts to improve. It's also important to remember that the lungs reflect your environment and habits. Clean air, proper hydration, movement, and rest all protect the progress you make. Avoiding extremes keeps the airways stable and responsive. Gentle routines done daily are far more effective than occasional intense efforts. As you continue this approach, trust the signals your body gives you. Easier breathing, quieter breaths, and improved comfort during activity are signs you're on the right path. These changes don't need to be dramatic to be meaningful. Subtle improvements often indicate deep healing taking place. Finally, be patient with yourself. You're not trying to reverse time, you're supporting your body where it is now. The lungs are resilient even later in life when they're given the right conditions. Small, steady steps protect your breathing for years to come. If you found this helpful, take a moment to breathe slowly right now and notice how your lungs feel. That awareness alone can make a difference. Stay consistent, stay calm, and give your lungs the support they deserve.